For years, we have heard physical media is dying, digital is more popular, digital sales are better, digital sales are on the rise, physical media, no one's buying discs. Even though this might be the case with gaming and other forms of media, more and more people are signing up to subscriptions, which I absolutely hate. I feel like companies are kind of forcing us to do that. Games come out, some of them come out digitally first, but I think there's been some evidence that not just gaming, but especially Gen Z, this is why I thought it was important to say this, is that Gen Z are actually embracing physical media. If any of you know me or follow the main channel, Love Gaming Neutro, you will know that I am all for physical media. Now, some of you youngers might not understand because you've grown up in a day and age of subscriptions. You're getting everything instant. Why would you want to have DVDs? Where would you store them? It's much more easier and convenient to just have a subscription and then you can decide and spend 3 hours not knowing what to actually watch. But for me, growing up, physical media was incredible because it wasn't just actually having the disc, having the game disc. It was about the experience. It was about going out on the weekend to Blockbuster. I remember going on a Friday afternoon with my friend and family. Obviously, I was too young. And we would go in there. My fondest memories are renting Too Fast, Too Furious. And you know what? That was the only bit of entertainment we had for that weekend. And you know what that did? It made us appreciate what we had. We would spend the whole weekend watching that same film about 4, 5, 6 times, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we would go back probably Sunday or Monday, and or my parents would, and they would have to give it back. And we felt like we got the most out of that, and it was an amazing experience. And it's no different for me with gaming. I think growing up, going into the store, buying your console, buying your games, it was the people you met, it was the midnight launches. This is why we need physical media to stay. And I will forever, as you can see, I've got loads of physical PS5 boxes here. I've got PS5, more PS4 ones at the bottom. I've got my PS3 stack here, and I've got another stack of PS5 games there. If we look over here with the recent release of Resident Evil Requiem, Physical's UK launch is much bigger than Village 4 remake based off Capcom. And I think this is only a good thing because when I did buy the digital deluxe on Amazon, it actually sold out. I haven't actually checked now, but it was actually sold out after that. And quite a few places were actually sold out. So I was really glad that I managed to get that pre-ordered. I know some of you may do digital, but according to this, Capcom continues to knock it out of the park with its latest game, very well received Resident Evil Requiem. The horror action game launched on the 27th, and its first few days on the market appears to have been very strong. The data for the physical UK sales have come in, and while it represents only a small percentage, it may be an indicator of broader trends. It debuts at #1 in the UK physical game charts, with 54% of those copies being for the PS5 version. Now, Christopher Dring, editor-in-chief of the game business, says its launch weekend was much bigger than that of Resident Evil Village and the remake of Resident Evil 4. Capcom is also in the top 10 with Monster Hunter Wilds, which jumps to 25th to 10th. And then obviously here we go, we have the UK software chart here. And then this is only a good thing. And for me, the people I speak to in the Discord, the people I speak to on the YouTube, physical media is still here to stay. We can say what we want. Companies can force it down us, but I think you'll see less and less people buying things. Now, I know the Switch 2 has done very well, but because of those game key cards, apart from a few games that have got the whole game on the cartridge, I know Nintendo want to really focus on kind of driving that digital sales. It just means you don't have a lot of freedom if you don't have the disc. Now, I know some of these games I've got require an internet connection. You need updates, you need whatever. But at least there's still a form of ownership over these games. And not only just games. And I think there's more and more people actually opening their eyes, because there was an article the other day, and this is to do with DVDs. And I'm literally going to do the same thing, especially with my son growing up. I'm going to build up a massive batch of Blu-ray films, and I just don't like subscriptions. I don't pay for Netflix. I know Els does, and Disney Plus. But I just really don't like where we're going with subscriptions. There are so many damn subscriptions. What is the point? DVDs are the new vinyl records. Why Gen Z is actually embracing DVDs. So this is crazy. So Gen Z is reviving DVDs and Blu-rays, with video rental shops reporting record months and membership numbers as young people embrace physical media. Flipping hell, well done. Physical media sales declined 9% in 2025 compared to drops of over 20% in 2023 and 4. But young customers cite frustration with subscription fatigue and content scattered across platforms, viewing physical media ownership as a form of cultural rebellion. This is honestly amazing because I think everyone should do the same. I've got quite a few Blu-rays actually, and I'm going to dig them out and I'm going to go CEX, and you can get some incredible films, Blu-ray. You know what? You've got freaking subscription services now charging more if you want 4K quality. And I'm like, this is absolutely pathetic, where if you have a PlayStation or you have just a Blu-ray player, even if you have an old PS3, you can watch some amazing quality Blu-ray films instead of locking it behind a paywall. And this is the problem with where we're going with subscription service, and what I absolutely hate. You've seen it with Xbox trying to push the subscription model, and I absolutely hate it, because all it means is we're going to increase the price. And what does that do? Xbox Game Pass used to be like £10 a month, and then all of a sudden you're going to charge, I don't know, £30 a month for Xbox Game Pass. That is the problem. You lose control of watching the same thing, playing the same games, but then they just want to charge you more for it. And if you have the Blu-rays, you don't have to renew. You don't have to pay any more money. You have got that. And I think it's so freaking important, especially with this article. You see here, collecting and watching DVDs isn't merely a childhood memory. They discovered the mediums as adults. I want something I could put on my shelf. Having recently collected 200 discs, I can go shopping in my closet and grab something and pop it in, instead of spending an hour scrolling through Netflix to find something and just turning on the same TV show. And I think that is so important when, as he just said that, we spend hours and hours scrolling on Netflix. What should we watch? If you have DVDs there, what I remember the cabinet as a kid, we'd open it up. What do you want to watch? We would focus on that film. We wouldn't get on our phones and start scrolling. And I think as well, just because the way companies are, this has to happen. We need to keep physical media alive. As we see here, in the dawn of streaming, it seems like maybe this was not going to happen, but it's definitely happened. We're seeing a lot of evidence, including more young people are thinking about physical media in a different way. In an age where so much is available for us on demand, it becomes increasingly important. Very, very interesting. And then in January 2026, Vidiot said it had its biggest month ever, renting an average of 170 movies daily and renting 500 titles in one day. Each disc rent for $3, including their most popular titles like Wild at Heart and The Heartbreak Kid. That is absolutely incredible. And look at this. This is absolutely incredible seeing this. This just brings me back to my childhood when we used to go into Blockbuster. If something gets deleted off an online platform, I will still be able to watch it because I have a physical copy. And I think this is just so important, and I'm so glad more and more people are absolutely realizing that you should actually start owning your disc. And I think with gaming, you know what, for me, I'll always support as much as I can. Yes, I do buy some digital games, but if games started becoming over 70, 80 pounds, you don't know how much they're going to cost in the next generation, and we don't get a physical disc, this would make me think twice. I would be very, very specific on what games I was picking. I wouldn't go spending like I do with the games I do now, because I want to own the disc. I want them in my collection. And I think with the PlayStation 6 going into the next generation, we're definitely going to have a physical, either like they've done with the PS5 Pro, or like they've done with the PS5 and have a model with the disc drive. Potentially they could just do it digital and you buy the disc drive, which I think a lot of people would be buying the disc drive. I think it's important that Sony keep that alive. Whether they want to or not, can understand that they're trying to push the digital, but I know a lot of people that are still buying a lot of physical games. And for me, it's a shame of where games become. I haven't bought a game from Game in so long because they charge $4.99 delivery. I was always trying to buy my games from there because it was childhood memories, but they take the piss with the delivery charge, and now I just buy them off Amazon. There's no telling what's going to happen with gaming, but as far as I'm concerned today, I'm still buying physical media. Like, you look at things in the past, yeah, you might think it's convenient at 12 midnight, you have the game, you can buy it straight away, but for the sake of waiting a day to have this and having a cool little physical box, look at this, like the design on here, we used to get so much more for our money back in the day. And that's why I'll continue to support. But what do you think about physical media? Are you still actually buying physical games? Do you buy more digital? Drop your thoughts in the comments and I want to hear your thoughts. So, yeah, I'll see you soon.